The wham. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Skins. Today and only today, we are here with some more Sonic Movie 3 news. The shit keeps rolling, the hype line keeps climbing, and we got some stuff to talk about today. Especially as we're about to get the Knuckles show this Friday, which I will be watching on Twitch if you'd like to go there on Friday. And also subscribe here for my review over the weekend. And so since the Knuckles series is coming out, we are getting a lot of interviews, including one that has been going around today, causing some headlines. So let's talk about this. So Sonic 3 producer Toby Asher has opened up about the upcoming threequel, confirming what many had already suspected. It's going to take a lot from Sonic Adventure 2. According to the producer, who is also a showrunner on the Knuckles series, Sonic 3 is probably the most exciting thing that we've done in the franchise. Asher also tells Games Radar it's going to be this giant, fun, incredible movie that obviously takes a lot from Sonic Adventure 2 and some of the games that I know the core of Sonic team grew up loving. So this has just stirred the pot in general. You know, there's been a lot of tweets about it, and we're going to talk about them. By the way, let me know if you guys like these more slower paced discussion videos where I'm about to read your tweets and talk about this stuff. I want to try to do more longer videos. I miss kind of doing shit like this. Now, what does it mean for Sonic Movie 3 to be like Adventure 2, right? Because Sonic Adventure 2 is obviously a much larger scale project than what's going on in a movie, right? With a video game, you're able to, you know, have 6 to 8 hours worth of content and storytelling and cutscenes and level, as opposed to a movie that's about 2 to 3 hours long, and you can only tell things in a certain amount of time, right? Obviously, a big question with Sonic Movie 2 has been, or Sonic Movie 3, it has been, what's going on with Amy and Rouge, right? What's going on with these characters, right? Because these two have a pretty important scene in Sonic Adventure 2. As we all know, one of the big plot points of Adventure 2 is, you know, Amy changing Shadow's mind, right, about his line of thinking and reminding him about Maria, right, in his past. And I feel like there's a lot more to that even, right? When we get a movie that's Adventure 2, you got to think of the key moments you need, because from a lot of the interviews we've been hearing and everything, it really feels like this movie is going to be Sonic Adventure 2, the movie. And I feel like there are key things you need. One, I think you do need a cold opening, right, where it's Eggman freeing Shadow, just like when you start the dark story in Sonic Adventure 2. I feel like that's going to be a must. I feel like that's going to happen. Obviously, it's going to be done a little bit differently. You know, we're going to see big Eggman. You know, they're going to play it up a little bit more comedically, but they're going to start with freeing Shadow as the cold opening. And then, I am telling you this factually, this game has to, and I mean has to, have Sonic start with City Escape. I would be shocked. I'm not saying, you know, it's a deal breaker. Obviously, a good movie is a good movie, but I would genuinely be shocked if this movie does not start with City Escape in some way. So you need City Escape. You need, obviously, the first encounter with Sonic and Shadow, right? You do need something kind of like the Faker scene. You don't have to do it one tone with how silly it is, but you need something akin to that. You need, obviously, Live and Learn. You need the Super Sonic and Super Shadow moments. You need Maria getting shot. There's a lot of pivotal moments you need, right? But what are moments that they can't really have? NJ right here actually pointed out, you know, one of the most iconic scenes also from the game is the president in the car as, you know, Sonic and Shadow pull up to the vehicle while, you know, Eggman is doing his speech, which I think is also a pretty cool scene, and I wonder if they'll adapt that in some form. I feel like the difference is this world is very aware of Sonic, right? We know Gunn is aware of Sonic. We know the world is aware of the character. I don't know how. I mean, yeah, people are aware Sonic exists, and I wonder how they're gonna play into why Gunn would be chasing Sonic or even have him be arrested, right? Because the difference is, like, Gunn knows Sonic, and so why would they be chasing him in the beginning of Sonic Movie 3? That's a good question. And like we were saying before, I feel like a big question mark is Amy and Rouge, right? Are they going to be in this movie or not? Now, they still have time to reveal them. I don't think it's too late for them to do a shocking reveal where one of them is in the movie. And in fact, I'd be surprised if one of them wasn't in the movie. I don't know if it'll be Rouge. I feel like Rouge is a character that you could get away with not having, especially, you know, Knuckles having his own series. I don't think they're gonna go and do the whole Master Emerald splitting into pieces plot plotline. I think that's going to be sidelined a little bit because we know Sonic has the Master Emerald, and I'm sure something is going to happen to it, but I don't know if they're going to fully go into, Knuckles splitting off and doing the whole Rouge the Bat side scenario thing, right? I think they're going to stick together. In fact, from the previews we heard at CinemaCon, they are fighting Shadow together in one of their first encounters, and they get their ass beat. So I feel like it boils down really to Amy and Rouge, which I think in some way could probably be played by one of the human characters. I feel like Maddie could be the conscious for Shadow, you know what I mean? And I also think even Tom could. I feel like Tom as a character, Mr. Donut Lord, could get cooked this movie. Now, I have two reasons for this theory. So my reason for this is this person right here. So this dude is apparently like a big, reliable Hollywood dude who said a lot of leaks and stuff. And he's saying, sounds like they're going for a PG-13 rating this time around. Now, obviously, probably because Maria's getting shot, but I do think death might play a role in the movie. And I do think Tom could get cooked. I think Tom as a character is someone that I feel like Shadow would be willing to harm Sonic, by deleting, by axing and doing something to, which is going to cause a massive shift in Sonic's character and just cause a rift in general or cause some kind of conflict. And I'm not someone who just wants death for the sake of death. Obviously, if they don't have to kill him, they don't have to kill him. But I feel like a moment like that for revenge for Shadow could be really crazy. Saber right here says they better not try to force a human subplot that doesn't feel like it belongs anywhere near a Sonic movie if they can't figure out how to make the humans be integral to the Sonic plot without stealing screen time. I agree with this, right? We're hearing a lot of reports about the Knuckles show, being a lot about Wade and Knuckles. And a lot of people's biggest criticism of Sonic movie 2 was the wedding stuff, right? I don't think people's issue is really with Tom and Maddie. I think they're good characters, but a lot of the sides wedding stuff from Sonic movie 2 did feel like a lot. And yeah, I agree. I feel like with Sonic movie 3, especially if it's an adventure adaptation, you're obviously going to have the humans. Like, obviously, I want Eggman to have Spotlight. I want, Agent Stone to have Spotlight. Gunn is probably going to play a big part in the movie. But I don't think this is the place anymore for funny side human subplot, like something like, the wedding or even some of the funny road trip stuff from movie 1. I think this is where the shit really hits the fan and shit needs to get serious with the gang. Space Colony arc better be in space. Yeah, that's a big question. Is like, what's going to happen? Are we going to have Space Colony arc? I feel like they kind of have to, because that's also where the Bio Lizard is. And a lot of people have been asking also what's going to happen with the Bio Lizard. And I feel like that's also a type of character that needs to be in this movie more than you think. Because you think, oh, generic alien monster. But that Bio Lizard is like what Shadow was supposed to be. That's what was originally the prototype for Shadow. And I feel like him seeing that is a big moment for him to realize, oh God, like, what the hell is going on here? What am I? And I feel like them fighting together is important. But we also know from the CinemaCon previews is that Sonic and Eggman work together to fight Shadow, which, obviously is technically a subplot in Sonic Adventure 2, but I don't know if things are going to be different where they're going to fully lean on Shadow being the bad guy this time around. Especially when with movie 2, they kind of already did the subplot with Knuckles, being the character they fight and then helping them in the end. I feel like this movie might be the big conflict between Shadow, and maybe the end there's a resolution, but he doesn't necessarily go inside with the team. He just leaves. I'd even fucking love if they took the page adventure to the original plot for it and killed off Shadow. Now, I don't think that's really possible because they probably want, more spin-offs to them. He's a big character. He's a very popular character, but that would be really bold if they did that, but I don't think that's the case. What do we got? Amy and Rouge are defo in the movie because if they weren't, then he wouldn't have said some, but he said a lot, which means they're literally taking everything from that game and adapting into the movie. This includes all Amy and Rouge, so they have to be in the movie. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Obviously, these statements can't be taken fully literally, but yeah, I do agree that they are still a big part of the original Adventure 2 plotline. I'd really like them in there. I hope to get final battle in our outer space and Sonic Shadow need to save the entire planet while Live and Learn blaze in the background. Minimum requirements. How do they do those requirements? I will leave it to them. I agree with that. For me, it's bare minimum Super Sonic and Super Shadow and Live and Learn somehow. I don't know if they're working together or fighting each other or something, but I really do think Live and Learn has to be part of it. And we know it is because they use the lay motif for it in the teaser for the logo. logo. So they're aware of the demand for the song and want for it. And I think it's going to happen. This is a big one. Does this mean the Chow Garden will be introduced? I really do think the Chow are going to make an introduction here. Whether they open a ring portal somewhere and they spawn or something, I really do believe in my heart of hearts, this is the movie where these guys start to spawn. Because one, you have a marketing tool there right away. You have something to sell in stores as toys and stuff. And also, you just set up like a cute creature to have in your world, you know, or something that's in another world. I just think the Chow will be in movie 3 in one way or another. I guarantee it. My dude James is saying it's time, which, yeah, is Eggman Speech going to be in this movie? I mean, obviously it's been memed to death, but I do think that moment is huge, right? The speech of Eggman talking to the world and doing the giant laser breaking the moon in half, I feel like is a mega plot line of the original story, and I wonder how they're gonna do that, because that was a really scary moment. Obviously, you know, the cutscene ages a little awfully, but that is a big moment to show just how much power Eggman has, and if he's putting these motherfuckers on a timer, this should be the way to show it. My dude Godier says the Sonic and Shadow mutual respect ending of both hero and villain story is a must. Yeah, no, I agree with this, man. This scene is so iconic, and I feel like it is so important to the game, right? Because these are obviously two very speed-based characters that get into a confrontation, and I think this is how you resolve their conflict if you're gonna do. You gotta have them, you know, running side by side, slowly building up speed. This scene has become so iconic, and there are so many ways they can make this scene more powerful and, you know, better, right? Obviously in the original game the fight isn't as interesting, but there's a way to make it raw and make it hype and make it so over the top. But again, a lot of this happens in space, and so I really wonder, are we gonna have a lot of this movie in space, or are they gonna find a way to do a lot of this on Earth? That's a big question mark. I'd be interested to know your thoughts on that. I know I said it, bro, but God, dude, this movie starting with this is like a must, bro. It is. I really think I think this is going to be like the first teaser or something. I really just think this is how you start the movie. You play some variation of City Escape or something, and oh my God, dude, it's over. It's over. Let's talk about some concerns here, though. I get that statement is exciting, but it's not going to be just SA2 the movie. Like, it literally can't be unless they're going to just take out all the human characters introduced already and bring in Amy with no explanation as to who she is. I feel like people are getting their expectations out of line with that, and realistically, possibly, that is not SA2. It's Sonic Movie 3, the successor to movies 1 and 2. The movies universe is not the same place as where the game universe was. Look, I agree with this. You know, I understand what they're saying is, I also do want these movies to have their own identity, right? But I also do want these movies to be faithful in some way, and in some ways they are, right? These movies have so far been adaptations of storylines that have been much simpler, right? Sonic 1 is, you know, Sonic's introduction to the world. It's essentially almost like a prequel to Sonic, even as a concept. And then movie 2, I feel like right away just tackles Sonic 2 and 3, like the original 2D games. But those games were so simple in plot. You know, Sonic 2 is basically, you know, you and Tails venture together. You know, you go stop Eggman with the Death Egg machine, and that happens in Sonic movie 2. And you also get Sonic 3's, you know, storyline with Knuckles being tricked and then joining in. So you get 2 and 3, but then you ship to what they're doing here, and they're basically adapting Adventure's plotting. But the difference is Adventure was a full-fledged story when it was introduced. So I think when they say that the movie is going to take a lot of inspiration from Adventure 2, I think you should know what they mean. They're talking about the big beats people expect, because like I said, I'm not expecting this movie to have Tails and a mech doing his own side plot. I'm not expecting Knuckles to be doing his side plot. I'm expecting, at bare minimum, the major plot points of Adventure 2 to be somewhat followed, right? Like I said, I'm expecting Gun to be involved. I'm expecting Sonic and Shadow to fight. You know, I'm expecting Eggman chicaneries in the background with the homie Agent Stone, right? But this time around, I do think it's going to be Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails working together. And from what we know at CinemaCon, they do get their ass beat together. And we know there's a motorcycle with Shadow, which wasn't even a plot point in the original Sonic, Adventure 2. That was introduced in Shadow the Hedgehog, his motorcycle. So they're obviously going to take elements from other games, like they said in the interview, right? It's going to be Easter eggs, it's going to be references, but I do expect the rough draft and idea to be adventure too. Like just Keanu even saying, "I found you, faker." Like they don't even have to do the rest of that scene. It's like that line is enough to make me go, "Oh, fuck. Talked about this earlier, but yeah, BioLizard, Maria, and Gerald have to be in the movie is no excuse. We still don't know who Gerald Robotnik is going to be. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, that is, Eggman's grandfather. Obviously, that is a very important character, Sonic Adventure 2. He created Shadow. He is a big reason of why shit goes down in it. And obviously, Maria's death. I really wonder how they're going to do the Maria plotline. Are we getting extensive Maria on screen? Or are we getting just little flashback tidbits because they're probably eventually going to set up for Shadow getting his own thing, which I think is going to happen. Oh, Prodigy says, all I want is to hear the Metal Harbor theme. It means the world to me. Yeah, Metal Harbor is interesting. I don't know really how you incorporate that in the movie as much. I mean, I guess that is kind of how you straight up go to space. But I wonder if they will do that set piece. It's really hard to decide what areas they would take. Because like I said, I don't think they're going to be doing every area from Sonic Adventure 2. I don't think we're going to be going to deserts and Metal Harbor and every, Radical Highway or Speed Highway or whatever the fuck, or all these places. I think it will be certain areas, but I think space kind of feels necessary. Angel saying this, I pray the movie ends with this. I agree with this, man. I 100% think this is very important. In fact, I feel like this movie's post-credit scene might just be the reveal of Shadow not being dead. Not that even that would be the most hype thing ever, but I feel like either, the post-credits here, the last moment just being Shadow is alive somewhere would probably still be a big deal. But I do think they want to set up a bit more of the universe in there. But yeah, cold credit scene like this would be incredible. I would fucking love this, especially how the gang gets together at the end, sort of depressingly getting together and understanding what happened. My dude Red Air says, if that's the case, on top of that, with how Sonic acts on the Knuckles show, where he's act more like himself with both fun and attitude and the words of wisdom, this scene's gonna make the snowboard scene Sonic movie 2 look like child's play. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's a big thing we got to talk about is in Sonic Adventure 2, that's where I really felt like Sonic's identity felt nailed, right? And really felt like it started where, okay, we're in attitude era, right? This is Sonic where he knows who he is, right? He's this confident dude. He's cocky. He cares about his friends. He understands the stakes and the scenarios going on here, but he has got attitude and spunk, right? Whereas in Sonic movie 1 and 2, you're getting a Sonic that's still a little bit nervous, right? And isn't fully confident, even though he's having fun. It feels like Sonic movie in 1, 2, he's having fun. Whereas I wanted to be here that like he's a little older, he's screwing around a little bit more. He's getting a little more comfortable on Earth. I mean, he's already comfortable on Earth, but you know what I mean? I want it to be more cocky. Give me that nice confident smile Sonic has when he knows he's him. One post I wanted to acknowledge and this off, this is a big deal. Someone said, so is it actually going to adopt plot points from SA2, or is there going to be a sign that says Pumpkin Hill Avenue and we're supposed to accept that, right? And then, we had this guy being a little negative here, being like, this sounds like a miserable take, but I'm beginning to realize a lot of Sonic movies Easter eggs are quite literally just naming zones after games. But then we got the homie Tyson pulling up saying, hey, I didn't give a whole presentation on how to connect the owls to the Babylonians to get on Twitter and read this. You know what I'm saying? So I think Tyson is very aware, like, hey, when we're saying this movie is going to be like Sonic Adventure 2, you know what we mean, bro. It's going to be the spirit. It's going to be the major moments you at least expect in some way. And it's going to be an exciting time. I can't wait for this movie the more I hear about it. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Are you excited? Hype? Let me know what you want to see most from Sonic Adventure 2. And of course, I'll see you all next time. Peace out.